Hi, I'm Alex, and this is Pucks and Paperbacks. It is week 2 of me recommending you queer books in June. I'll have last week's down below in case you missed it. And today I'm recommending you queer books based on other queer books. So if you liked this queer book, then you should try this queer book. All the titles will be down below. Let's get started. If you can't get enough of Heartstopper, you should read The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag. This is a graphic novel about a 15-year-old girl named Morgan who has a secret, which is that she likes girls. And she is terrified to tell people this, and she just feels like a burden and feels like if she comes out, it is just going to be another problem that her family have to deal with as she's currently dealing with her parents' divorce. I recommend The Girl from the Sea because it's sapphic and also because it has hard topics just like Heartstopper and a coming out story. But The Girl from the Sea does have some fantastical elements as Morgan finds a Selkie and falls in love with her. If you liked Aquamarine, this book screams Aquamarine. So there's another comp title if you're looking for it. I really enjoyed this, and I think if you liked Heartstopper, you will too. If you enjoyed Nimona by N.D. Stevenson, you should pick up Coming Back by Jesse Zabarsky. There's a lot of messages in this book, especially about culture and traditions changing and how to respect them as times change. And we also get to see how society views single mothers, but we also get to see some cool shape-shifting. Preet and Valissa live on this island, and when the island is attacked, Valissa sacrifices herself and goes to try and figure out what is happening and basically fight whatever this is. I would recommend this on the illustrations alone. I love the color schemes and all, but I really think that this book as a whole has a lot of good messages. And so if you like Nimona for shapeshifting and you want another book about queer shapeshifters, I highly recommend this one. If you liked The Passing Playbook by Isaac Fitzsimons, you should read Obi is Man Enough by Skylar Ballar. This is about a 13-year-old boy named Obi. He's a trans boy, and he gets kicked off of his swim team because his coach is transphobic. This book also deals with a trans character experiencing discrimination in sports. And this also has a lot of trans joy and talks about first crushes. So if you want a meaningful trans book about a boy falling in love, just like The Passing Playbook, I highly recommend this one. I just loved it so much. I read it for the Queer Weekend back in March, so I'll have that video down below if you want to see more of my thoughts. But it's incredible. So if you want another book about trans boys in sports, love, and acceptance, I highly recommend that one. Now, I will make a disclaimer because I know I've been recommending these books in like every video, but these were the inspiration for this type of video. So if you liked the Check Please series, you should read Icebreaker by A.L. Graziadei. If you read Check Please and you wanted more or just wished that it was a full novel, I highly recommend Icebreaker. It talks about toxic masculinity in hockey. It talks about mental health and depression. And it is just such a powerful book about hockey. And so I think if you enjoyed what Jack went through in Check Please, you're really going to enjoy this one. It's one of my favorite books of the year, and I do have a reading vlog for it, so I'll also link that down below. If you enjoyed Melissa by Alex Gino, you should pick up Too Bright to See by Kyle Lukoff. This book made me sob, and if Melissa did as well, bring out the tissues and pick up this book. This is about Bug, who is entering middle school, and he is just trying to figure out who he is, and he just feels like a boy. And just if you want a coming-of-age story about grief and a boy just trying to figure out who he is, I highly recommend this. Like, this is amazing. It has all of the awards for a reason, and it is amazing. And my last pairing is, if you enjoyed This One Summer by Mariko Tamaki and Jillian Tamaki, you should pick up Slip by Marika Makula and Atmaja Pandya. I think these are so similar and perfect for each other. This has some magical elements, but it's more of like a metaphor. This is a sapphic graphic novel about a girl named Jade who goes to an intense art program for the summer, but before she leaves, she's told that her best friend Phoebe is being hospitalized because she attempted suicide. And this is all about her feeling less creative and trying to just figure out where she went wrong. It is all about feeling helpless and just feeling like she didn't do enough. I love a dark contemporary, so if you enjoyed this one, Summer, for its hard topics and also for summer love, I highly recommend Slip. I will leave the trigger warnings down below for all of the books I mentioned because some of them are a little bit heavy. And that is it for today's book recommendation video. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up and feel free to hit subscribe because I am making book rec videos every Tuesday in June. So please subscribe and turn on the post notifications so you don't miss out. If you have any recommendations for the books I mentioned, let me know in the comments. And if not, just leave a rainbow heart so I know that you stayed. I'll see you next week with another video.